Okay, if you're tired of very generic and plain UI designs generated by AI, you're gonna have to watch this. So here I'm on VO, and as you can see, it's generated this very simple and plain UI design. But the thing is, I got this prompt by Claude right here. So I inserted this whole prompt, very descriptive, like a lot of characters, right? Claude fully like architected it. And VO is only able to generate this. And not only that, the hero, if you look at the hero, it's very generic and it's using an AI generated image. Now, if you were to use this as your actual landing page, I think you'd get 0 conversions. You might be lucky to get even 1. And the reason being that it's very plain, it's very generic, and the amount of text here is just like straight jargon, right? There's just so much text and text. There's not many visuals. So is your user who's coming on your landing page actually going to be inclined to read all of this, right? And then you have this AI hero, which you can tell by the misspells. It's just completely AI generated. So, but I think the best alternative to this is you can actually design inside of this tool called Glammer, right? And I think I found it. I think it does actually pretty well, and you can make a pretty good design. So I've been playing around with it, right? And so I've made this design right here, right? So keep in mind, I used this landing page prompt right here. I gave it to VO as well. And I also gave it to Glammer. And Glammer, I think, was able to make something substantially better, right? You have an actual hero, right? Where it actually generates it. You have a little marquee here. Then you have some text. You can see that it's more like organized and like separated and actually like spaced like way better, right? It's more appealing. And the best thing about it is like you can actually go ahead and change your designs, right? So if I don't want it to be orange, I can go to like blue over here and just make it like blue like that, and it'll stay. So the best thing about this is you just generate it and you can click this copy code, right? And you can give that to your coding agent like Codex, Claude Code, or whatever you want to use, right? I was also able to generate this dashboard, same dashboard right here. So if you take a look, right? It's way more modern and cleaner. It can be a bit better in some aspects, but I do think for the most part, it does get the job well done. It is a bit cluttered, but I think that, we can fix that inside of your coding agent. So it's a very good starting point. And just to highlight like how good it can really get, I made this design right here, completely like different from Rantel, which was basically like a linear but for Reddit. This design is meant to be more creative. I specifically told Claude to be go precise on animations, right? So it's about to be like some gardening blog editorial page kind of. And so I actually connected it with Codex. So you can see this is how the design actually looks, right? So we have just like a lot of interaction, click it and it stays right there. We also have this vine that's like telling us like our progress going down the website. Then we have this cool little grid. Then we have more interactions, right? Then I also connected it up to our actual like dashboard design we actually used. So if I go back up here, you can see that we're actually using a different dashboard design. And I specifically took the blue accents. They weren't blue before, but they were actually black. And I just wanted to change it up a bit, right? So I made it blue visually, right? So as you know, you can click on one of these and you can make it like green, blue, right? Let's make it green just to highlight the fact, right? And they all turn green. And so you take your visually edited like changes on that AI generated design, and then you hand it off to your coding agent and it'll still like persist. So just to show a better like example and idea, this time I'm going to ask Claude for like a really descriptive design of something more minimalistic and modern. So I've asked Claude to generate me like kind of like any product. So it's gone for like a crypto wealth landing page, but I've asked it to make it clean and minimal. And so here we have the core prompt. It's still going, but as you can see, the best way to really like effectively use this is to really like get an LLM to write out the prompts for you. So then it actually knows what it's doing best. And then you can add that into Glammer. So we're going to just take this and then we're going to just go in here. We're going to use GPT 5.5 and then we're going to ask it to just generate this, and it's going to start generating, and then we can iterate on the designs. Let's go ahead and expand it out. Okay. So let's go ahead and analyze this. So we can see that we have like, it's more clean and smooth kind of. We have this hero, depicting like asset management, like your crypto. And then we have this like really nice moving marquee of all the stocks, more visuals and more copywriting. Yeah, so overall, like, it's not bad. Definitely stuff could be better. Well, let's say like you didn't really like the green theme for whatever reason. Like, you can just go ahead and make it whatever color you want. So like, you could make it like yellow. I don't know. Just make it like this type of yellow. Right? Obviously, that's not like the best thing. Probably want to make the text like black. And so you can go visually edit. And then the thing is, once you're satisfied with kind of like your design, you can go ahead, copy the code, or if you're using something like Cursor, Anti-Gravity, Visual Studio, whatever, you can just click on one of them and then it'll copy and it'll ask you to open the app. Or you can, like, if you're using Cloud Code and Codex, you would just like copy your code right here and it'll sit down here, and then you just open up like Codex, use this landing. So then you would just tell it to, use this landing page, and then you just give all the code. You can see I gave it to Codex. Codex finally finished up the task, implemented the new landing page, so we can see it's exactly how we had it. We even have our changes in here, like we changed with the button colors, so it's yellow here, yellow there. And yeah, I think it's a pretty efficient, optimal way of like making your UI design, and then you can actually go in and then implement your engineering and features and stuff. So yeah, so I think the best workflow right there is to avoid stuff that does this with VO, that makes like these AI generated images, and then you can use Glammer, and then you just design it, you edit it, and then you just give it to your coding agent. That's very fast, efficient, and it makes something credible for once. So hopefully that was helpful and insightful for you guys.